Hi everyone and welcome to Warhammer. We're your hosts, Jack
and Dan.
Today we've got a little treat for everyone, really.
Yes.
A little army showcase.
Yeah, we've got all of Jack's Necrons out. And we're going to talk through a bit about the collection and also some of the little stories behind it.
Like where I've got stuff from, you know, kind of why am I missing some models in some cases.
Yes.
I'm directly looking at it, but from your perspective, you'll not be able to see it yet. But but yeah, there's loads to talk about. So
we couldn't actually. He's got so many, we couldn't fit them all on the table. There, as you can see, there's some behind us, and they actually stretch back on both sides as well. So you might just be able to see just behind me. There's a little Convergence of Dominion peeping out there.
I have a smaller pile of shame than I was thinking as well.
Yeah, you do actually. You're pretty efficient.
I'm on top of it. I'm on top of it now. That's the ones I'm willing to tell you.
Well, that's your Necron pile of shame.
Let's not go any further than that. But yeah, honestly, a good collection. I'm really happy with kind of where it's at right now as well. There's very nicely painted. If I do say so myself, blue and gold, favorite colors. So I'm very happy for them.
They look fantastic. When you get them all out like this, it's really inspiring. Actually,
it's a slight change because normally they're just in a box. So I've got a couple on display, but having them all out like this, it's really nice. It's really nice.
Well, let's dive into it then. Why did you start collecting Necrons? What was it that inspired you to get the angry robots?
It's funny because I used to collect Space Marines back in the day. So I was again very much like very many kids out there. Space Marines, poster boys.
Almost everyone starts there.
Exactly. And it was funny because I had a friend who collected Necrons.
It's quite funny. This little guy just keeps wobbling. I don't know if the camera's picking that up.
What's it, little dancing barge?
Yes, he's excited to get into combat. Sorry, carry on. I just got distracted. I was like, what's that at the corner of my eye?
Why is it
the dancing barge?
Space Marines collected that one. And then I think from there, I really just traded a few kind of Space Marines for Necrons because I really liked the look of them, and then after that was when third edition was coming out and such, and I was like, these guys look angry and these guys look pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I was like, what's their gig? And I think I just started seeing their models and their aesthetics, and I was like, well, it's a completely different vibe from the Space Marines, you know, like the stereotypical hero kind of thing.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, Necrons, I just want to kill everything. Yeah, sign me up, please. So I traded a few Space Marines for those ones, and then I just started collecting them from then.
Nice.
It was really nice.
And it's certainly extended over the years. You've got how many you've actually totted up for the first time, I think. How many points you've got now?
I do.
I mean, this is one of the great things about the app.
The app, to be honest, the app was, I mean, doing this manually would have took me hours.
Yeah.
But yes, I have 11,000 points of Necrons.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't realize I had that many. Now, I have a few more in the metal blister packs, but they are never being opened.
Yeah,
so
they're not counted.
They are not being counted in this list. But yeah, everything you see, the little ones behind me, and also the pile of shame slightly behind Dan.
Yes.
That is 11,000 points of Necrons.
It's really impressive.
I'm very happy with it.
I mean, the app starts going mental after you get past 3,000 points. It's just
screaming at me.
You were over your points limit.
It was like, you know, when you pick the army, it's like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I was like, all right, I'll pick Onslaught, but I'm going way above that.
Yeah. 3 and a bit Onslaughts.
So 3,000 points. There's the limit.
It's a really good visual demonstration of the depth and richness in the Necron Codex. Because we've been around for a long time as a faction and had quite a lot of love from GW in a couple of editions, particularly 9th actually. But we've got a lot of units.
Yeah,
and you own most of them, if not all.
Most keyword there. Most,
well, nearly all. Good. So, is there anything left to collect then?
There is a couple of ones to collect. It is so I've just purchased the obelisk.
Oh, yes.
I had a nice little gift card from a friend for birthday, so nice. I spent a little bit of money on that one. I can buy another one to then create the Tesseract Vault and the obelisk, but I'm not going to be doing that. I hadn't planned on buying the obelisk anyways, but I bought it because I had the gift card, so I was like, I may as well spend it. So I got that, but there's that one. I think there's a couple of Legends and Forge World ones, which I'm just not probably going to buy.
The one I really like is the Seraptech Heavy Construct, which is the big version of I don't know if you can see him there, the Triarch Stalker.
Yeah, you can see him.
And that's an incredible model. I saw a really fantastic, someone had done a conversion of it on Facebook using the existing model, which is even better. Yeah. But Forge World, it's got a bit of a bad rep. If I want one of those, I'll be
probably 3D printing it, right? It's just like, as cheeky as it is, it's like, well, for the price, and again, we've talked about before, but like the element of that going to Legends. not being able to use. Actually, is it already in Legends?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, there you go. So like, see, buying the Forge World stuff, I'm just a bit like, I don't want to do it because I don't want it to go. I want to be able to play it. I like all my units I've got here that you can see are playable. I've got a few behind me that aren't, which we'll get onto later.
Yes.
But yeah, I like the ones that I can play with basically.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right then, and what about metal models? Obviously, you like collecting the old lead.
See, I'll definitely be getting the Necron, the metal ones. Again, can't play them per se. Well, you technically can. I mean, so the Immortals and such.
Yeah, Immortals and characters and stuff technically you can, as long as they're on the right base size, etc.
True base size.
I mean, some of the ones you've got. You've got one out of a blister pack. You've got a metal spider, haven't you? The old metal spider, which you can play as a spider. I guess.
Two again. I'll put this on screen so people can see it in all of its glory.
Yes.
But yeah, so the metals one, it's great. I got that in a nice little pack. Literally a bargain bucket pack.
Nice.
Which was great to see. So yeah, I'm very happy with that.
There's one old OG metal unit which you can't use, which is the Pariahs, isn't it? Necron Pariahs.
Got one somewhere behind me.
Yes.
I was like, is it here? No, it's behind me.
Yeah, it's in the metal section.
In the metal section, yes.
Off camera. Yeah.
I've organised them very well for us. But yeah, the metal section, I've got 4 of them total. One of them is fully painted and built and such, but the other 3 are like in bits, basically.
I like the Pariahs, but they're kind of like they're the last. They were a different aesthetic. They're kind of like chunky, almost like muscular robots.
Yeah, exactly.
We've moved away from that.
They were the nulls, weren't they, or something like that?
Yes.
Psychic nulls.
Yeah,
and then they were converted into Necrons. So very good lore behind it, and they got rid of it.
Yeah.
Very close to my heart.
Yeah, bring them back, GW, please.
Back.
Good. All right. And what about the first unit that you ever bought? This is you have told this story in many podcasts ago, but I think it's worth because it's just insane.
I put this on the spot now. I think it's the same one. Is it the monolith?
Yes.
Yes. I was panicking. I was like, oh my god,
it's that one there, isn't it? The old school monolith,
the OG one. So with that one, I got because again, I was into Space Marines at the time, and then I had obviously like some jump pack Marines and such, and I had a friend that had this unbuilt.
Right.
And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well, are you ever going to use it? And I was like kind of slowly getting into the Necrons. And he's like, oh, probably not. So he was like getting just out of the hobby. I was like, oh, well, being kids, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had other Space Marines. And I was like, well, do you want to do a trade? And he goes, oh, yeah. He looked at my squad of like 8 jump pack Marines and he goes, I'll take 6 of those. I was like, 6 of these for that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. There you go.
Happy days.
Absolute easy trade in my life.
That's the best trade.
It was so good. But I mean, it's just crazy. And then we just 6 out of 8 of them. I had 2 left, which can't field in an army. But I guess that's what I had.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously that OG monolith. I mean, it's so weird. You look at both the OG one and the new one. I love them both in their own ways.
Yes.
Like the old one is just this iconic pyramid menace looking amazing. Remember, it's so many memories from Dawn of War and such.
Absolutely, from Dawn of War. And I think the model, it kind of reminds me of that old sort of 80s, 90s Doctor Who vibe. It's got that kind of almost like a Dalek-y to me type of vibe, the way the guns stick out. And then the newer one, they just upgrade. It's just an upgrade, really, isn't it?
It is just an upgrade. And it's like everything about it I love. And like, again, I'll go back to the old one. I'm like, well, I'm not even mad. Like if I see either one of those, I love them both.
Yeah,
equally good.
Yeah, I've got one of each. They're not quite in as good condition as yours, but yeah,
it's
need a little bit of TLC.
TLC, that one. This one looks a bit rough when you get a bit close, which I'll show you. But I mean, it was painted when I was like 14.
Yeah, I think Little Jack did a good job. To be fair,
younger me done well, and then it was like 10 years apart or something like that. So
yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, very good.
And what about your favourite units in the lore?
It has to be Orokin and Trizan.
Nice.
Those 2 guys. The books as well, like the lore that they've like fleshed out with those guys. It's just too good. Absolutely too good.
For those that don't know, Jack's talking about specifically about a book called The Infinite and the Divine, which is one of the best books in the Black Library.
It's so good.
I actually picked up a new copy when we were down Warhammer World because the old one's fallen to bits.
You've read it that much.
Yeah.
But even just on top of that, though, if again, I'll do some close-ups, but Orokin has obviously his upgraded model in this new edition.
Yes.
But obviously I've still got the original one of his as well. Paint job wise, you can still definitely tell the difference, but model and aesthetic wise look very, very similar.
I absolutely those 2 love the old one. He's kind of hunched over, like really grumpy. He looks like he's about to give someone a proper whack with his staff.
Exactly.
But the new model is a bit more kind of imposing.
Yeah.
And,
he's just like,
a bit more regal almost.
Yeah, it's a good word
It feels
for that
like
one.
he's a proper epic hero.
But I feel like they've kept the vibe from the first one, and then just with the monolith upgraded it.
Yeah.
It's a shame to see that Trezan didn't have an upgrade in this edition.
Yes,
Kept the same model in the old 25 millimeter bases or something like that. He needs an upgrade. It's a shame they didn't do it in a pair with how the book.
They just missed a massive trick there. They should have upgraded both, and there should have been a box they reissued limited edition version of the book, and you could have had sold them as a set, all that stuff.
Just crazy.
We should work for GW.
GW
marketing.
Let us write it. We'll give the people what they want.
Because GW struggles to make money. It needs all the
course,
help it can
exactly,
get.
It needs two big brain people.
But I think lore-wise, they loom large for pretty much every Necron player because they're just so cool, and the interplay and the competition between the two of them that's in the lore is phenomenal.
Exactly.
What else? Is there anything else gets a special mention in terms of lore-wise?
Catans.
Yeah,
I think just Catans themselves are just so good because it plays into don't want to spoil anything, but the Catans themselves are just just the lore behind it, and how it's back in the day the big war, what was the war called again? War in Heaven.
Yeah.
Just with that going on, and just how they trick the Necrons into doing stuff, and then the Catans. People think, oh well, the Catans found the Necrons to do that, to help go against the old ones, but then people were saying that it was just a coincidence that the Necrons stumbled across the Catans.
It's it's an instance of GW overwriting the lore and saying it was always this way. If you're new to the hobby and you're thinking why did they do this with female custodians, where they said there's always been female custodians. GW does this a lot. Third edition.
It's like Gaslights were basically, don't
it kind of is.
Wait, you're wrong. They've always been here.
The lore's kind of set up that way. It's the only sort of fandom I know of where the lore is set up like that.
Yeah.
But when Necrons got their real kind of launch, I think in third, the Catan enslaved the Necrons. These were mindless servants of the Catan, and then in fifth edition they flipped it.
Right.
So
I don't know.
so all of that lore that we've got now about how the Necrons defeated the Catan and kind of enslaved them is like a 180 of what it used to be.
Okay, that's interesting.
It is. But I think the lore about the Catan and the shards of the Catan and how the Necrons control it is really good, and they've. We both like the Nightbringer, but I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but look at the difference in size between the Nightbringer and the Void Dragon.
You can easily tell, literally in the shot, you can basically see. Obviously, I'll do some close-ups for everyone to see. But
the Nightbringer's crying out for a new sculpt as well.
But even although the Deceiver looks really cool, he definitely needs.
They need bulking up a little bit.
He does. And also, do I want to apologize? No, I'm going to stand my ground. The Deceiver that you're probably looking at has a supreme scarf.
Oh yeah,
he's a rich boy.
Yes, very bougie. He's one of the few models like you, a bit like me. You don't do a lot of customization or kit bashing or whatever.
No.
But you gave him a lovely thick
a little
rope chain.
Yeah. I think I called them. Oh, that's it. I called them two chains.
Yes.
Obviously spelt in a weird way because obviously it's Catans.
Yes.
So two chains.
Nice, I love it.
But it's a nice little it was a little extra because I knew I wouldn't be playing them a lot, so I was like, I'll just whack a little chain on them because it's a bit funny.
And those are your favourite units in the lore. What about actually on the tabletop? Anyone who watches our videos will probably guess the first one.
Yeah. My lovely flayed ones.
Yes.
I love them. Look
at this. You've got, I was going to say you've got 40. You've got 39. We'll come on to that in a minute. But 40 is pretty impressive.
I'm very happy with the 40 that I've got. Because obviously back in the day you could field 60.
Up until the end of 9th, you could field them in blocks of 20.
Yeah.
So so that's why you've got, if anyone's new, that's why he's got 40. Why has he got 10 more you can field?
It was
basically because you love them.
I love them, and it was just during the Combat Patrol magazine. They were just super cheap. Like again, I mentioned before, they were the box themselves were they're now £32.
Yeah.
I think I picked them up
for £5.
Exactly. Whereas I picked them up for I think it was 10 to 15 quid off eBay. So it was just getting some good bargains in whilst I knew I could, and I knew it was my favorite models. So absolutely had to grab them. And, I love the old sculpts. I'll point some of them out. There's obviously this one, but the newer sculpts that they've done again is just as good. Going back to the Necrons and the Catans and such, they've upgraded them which is what I love.
Yeah, I really like the newer sculptor. It's one of the fiddliest minis in 40k to build. You've got to be.
Horrible.
I mean, you've just got to be very patient because the glue has to set on each bit before you do the next bit.
You do. It's like the stupid fingers that they've got.
Yeah.
They're just so long and like holding them in place. There's like nothing to grip onto because they're so small. And you're just like
the number of times one of them's just snapped off when I've been trying to snip it off the sprue.
I'm just like that's how it looks.
Like,
That's how it is now.
Battle damage.
Exactly. So yes,
I mean, sticking with that kind of it's a theme. You also like some of the other Necrons that have descended into madness as well, don't you?
Yes, the destroyers.
Yes,
absolutely love. Still got all of my destroyers up top there for you to see. Again, I'll do a little shot of them later. But yeah, so I mean, Logos destroyer is amazing. Heavy destroyer is amazing. Scorbex, I can never make them work.
You have a love-hate relationship with them, don't you?
I do. On the tabletop, they look and they should perform. For some reason, for me, they just never hit the mark. Never make them work.
We'll talk about more when we do a unit review of them, but I think they have a very limited role now, and I'm not sure that they do it that well. There might be other better options.
Yeah. But they're still good. If you've got the points and you're running the Annihilation Legion, it's really worth them bringing them. And I do wish I had more because I really enjoy painting them ones. They were one of the easiest Necrons to paint.
They're very nice.
It's just because they're big and they're bulky and there's not like, although it sounds silly, there's not a lot of detail on them to make them hard. It's like a Necron Warrior. Again, you look at it, it's not that big, but the issue you got Necron Warrior is that they're super small. And getting in the little nooks and crannies can be quite difficult, but the Destroyers are just a bigger version, so it's just easier to paint. Is what I find.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I think they are a joy to paint, actually. The blades can, you can do as little or as much in the blades as you want. But that's the trickiest bit. The rest of it is like you said, it's for beginner or relatively new painters. The size of that model's perfect for learning and getting your detail.
Exactly. Very nice.
Good. And we should actually, as an aside, mention that the paint scheme that you've got, you touched on it earlier, is actually also in the lore, isn't it?
It is. It's Nilak.
Yeah.
The Nilak dynasty.
Yes.
So those guys are from, I think it's Trezan's. Trezan's one.
Makes sense.
And I love Trezan. And I was like, when I was picking my Necron color scheme, I remember walking in, I was talking to the bloke, and I was like, he had some Sautek ones on there, which I think are the Silent King ones, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, they look cool. Like, they look Necron, Endless, Silver Tide, that's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I was like, that looks good. But at the time, I wasn't feeling like a Silver Tide list. I wanted something to stand out, to be like, oh, look, those are cool. Look at those, look how cool they look. And I was like, well, what color scheme looks good? And red came to my mind. I was like, well, red looks cool. Red, like the Nova kind of.
Yeah,
that's your favorite, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, I like the redness. Then I was like, the blue's my favorite color. And I seen the blue, and I was like, well, blue would be good. I was like, a bit of gold on there to kind of shine a bit more.
Yes.
I was like, yes.
And just before anybody answers in the comments, Sautek is not the Silent King's dynasty. That's a Zarakan dynasty.
There we go.
So don't kick off. We've corrected it.
Please.
But yeah, I think this scheme works really well with the kind of almost marine blue and the old gold. It really pops.
Yes.
It looks great on the tabletop.
It's a weird one. I know we haven't really covered it, but the painting side of things, like you've probably seen some of my collection, like I could easily point out some of the ones that are my older paint schemes and one of my new ones, because you can just see the natural progression that you make, because I paint so many. Every time I paint a new model, I'm like, that's got better. I think that's so much better.
It's another good reason to do this occasionally, to get all your models out and have a look at them, because we're all guilty of looking on Instagram and seeing fantastic models and thinking, I'm never going to get there. But looking at your own army to see your progression gives you a good sense of pride and fulfillment. I think
it's very true. I mean, even some of the old. I mean, look at that. Like, it's like some of the scarabs are really like just grey and such, and then look at the other silver ones that are new. I'm like, nice silver. I want to go over and redo some of them, but that's too much.
That's the thing. I suppose you've got to take unit by unit, I suppose, as you play with them or whatever. The other element of customization I've just noticed is that almost all of your bases are custom bases, aren't they?
They are, painstakingly so.
Yeah.
So I had a friend to 3D print them for us, because I was like looking at all the different like bases that you can do, and I quite like, like the standard like rubble or like some standard like grass and such.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want something Necron themed, and I was like, well, what's online? So I looked online, and I found this really cool bit. Obviously, do some close-ups, but there's some really cool Necron ones, and they were the worst things to paint. Because if you look, I've got so many guys, and I was like, well, I'm going to paint all these. And the other issue was, well, I'd already glued them to the base, so I had to unglue them.
Oh no, you had to cut them all off.
I'd cut them all off. Get rid of all the glue and fix them all up, and some of them I broke the foot on because I'm an idiot. I had to re-glue them all, and that was painstakingly.
I can imagine.
I think I lost for like about a couple of weeks. I lost my vibe for Necrons because I was just.
I'm not surprised.
So many.
You're a madman.
Like the flayed ones are the worst ones to do because they're just so fiddly, as you know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I had to get those ones redone as well. Horrible.
Speaking about painting, what are your favourite? Which paint jobs are your favourites? Which ones are most proud of?
Oh, it's got to be my Silent King. I spent so long doing the Silent King.
He's beautiful.
Like you can see, I've got all the scarabs on the bottom of the base as well.
Yeah.
They're all 3D prints. So they look really good 3D prints, to be fair. But yeah, Silent King must have spent easy 25 plus hours on that.
Yeah.
And I think I still watch Duncan Rhodes' video on it. You know, the guy's an absolute legend, as you know. But you know, his video came out like 5 plus years ago, and it's just as good
it's
today.
Still the standard on how to paint him, isn't it? Yeah.
I took what's it? What are these actually called? Blackstone.
Yes, Blackstone.
Yeah. So there's a couple of newer updated Blackstone guides out there, which I followed for that one. But yeah, I was super happy for my Silent King. I spent a long time on this guy.
Yeah, he looks great, and I think the addition of the scarabs gives him a sense of momentum that the model doesn't have, because you can feel this kind of tide of
like
scarabs.
Static.
Yeah, he's quite static. He's like, here I am.
It's like, I'm a big presence. But
which is, I'm not saying he's a terrible model. He's great.
No,
but that element was missing, and I think by adding those scarabs in, you've got it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, because it is literally just like, I mean, I haven't counted how many
scarabs. Yeah,
I think I just asked for a big tray, and he just comes with a massive tub. He's like, here's all the scarabs. And
that'll be one of our pop quizzes in the future. It's like, guess how many sweeties in the jar, isn't it? How many scarabs on the base?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with how it came out. Like I said, there's a few. I mean, obviously, as many people out there, if you guys paint your own stuff, you know what you've done wrong. And there's definitely things I would have redone, like the guys, although these capes came out quite nice.
Yeah,
I wish I painted the cape when he was off the base.
Yeah,
I glued it all because I really wanted to play him.
Yes,
and I knew I wouldn't paint them for a long time, so I built them, played with them for like about half a year, then I eventually painted them.
It's
just gotta do it sometimes.
If you can paint him in sub-assemblies, it is better, I think. It's easier.
Anyway. It's a lot easier. Yeah, you get in those little nooks and crannies, but regardless, I think he's came out absolutely smashing.
He's really nice.
But no, I'm really happy from him.
What else gets a special mention in terms of paint jobs?
What was it again? I think my reanimators.
That's right. Yes, they do look lush.
Had to think there because those are my newest ones that I've done, and I was really experimenting with dry brushing and such, because you can just do Necrons, and like the dry brush is super easy. You just do like a lighter silver, so you just paint black and then dry brush, like lead belcher.
Yeah, like what they call a heavy dry brush on overbrush, and then a lighter dry brush. Yeah,
like I thought I was good at dry brushing because it was just like, all right, perfect, just blah 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 blah. And then the more I got into it, the more I was like, oh well, the blue looks nice, but it was quite just a Sobek green blue, and it was just a flat base color.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, it looks okay, but it needs a bit of more flair. So I was like, right. I was like, I'm going to spend a little bit more time and dry brush some newer models. So the reanimators at the time, I think were back in 9th. They were awful. They were just so bad. No one used them.
No one
used
them.
I was like, I'll tell you what, let me paint these guys and just test with my dry brush. Because if I mess up, then I'm never going to use them. No one's going to use them. Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. And I started doing it, and I was like, hold on. I was like, oh, this looks really good. So then I got my Triarch Stalker out. He was an older model where I painted him years and years ago, and I was like, oh, let me just do a bit of dry brushing to see if it improves the model, and it's just massively improved.
So you're talking about highlighting effectively here, dry brushing instead of edge highlighting.
Yes,
and because of the shape of the Necron models, you've got lots of lovely edges that the dry brush picks up.
Just so super easy.
It's very satisfying. It's quick, it's easy, it's very satisfying.
Exactly.
It feels really nice.
It really does. And I was really nervous about doing it because, again, I was like, well, if I do this and I mess up the model, I'm going to have to redo it. So that's why I started with those guys, and they came out really good. So I moved on to the Stalker. And then when I was doing some newer destroyers, I was like, all right, well, let's do some models that I enjoy and I'm going to be playing. Done that one, and again, they've came out quite nice.
Nice.
So I'm really happy with those ones.
Cool.
So learn a new trick on that one.
Yeah, if you don't do dry brushing for Necrons, then you're missing a trick. There is some really good videos. They're, again, a little bit old, but it's that guy that does the massive Middle-earth dioramas, Zorp. I think he's Australian or New Zealand.
I think so.
Or New Zealand. Apologies, Zorp, for not knowing your ethnicity. But yeah, he's very, very good. Got some good videos on showing you how to dry brush, and Necron Nick, Idic Beer.
Yeah, he does.
Got a lot of good.
I watched his video for the Blackstone.
That's
really worth checking that one out.
That's the best step-by-step guide to Blackstone. We'll put a link.
Made
in
it super easy. Yeah, made it super easy to do. Yeah,
thank you, Nick. Good. And then moving on from favourite paint jobs, what about hardest to paint?
Hardest to paint.
Yeah, you touched on the Silent King already a little bit.
Yeah, Silent King, just because how big he is and all that sort of stuff. But I think there was two. I think it was the Doomsday Arc.
Yes,
I think just because.
That's the Ghost Arc there, but it's the same. It's the same one. They've got Doomsday behind me. Yeah, he's pulling the wheelie there.
Yeah, so this guy is. He's. I love the model, and he's really good on the field, but he is. Just look at him. Like, look how many things he has inside. And again, I built it, then painted it. So getting in the little nooks and crannies, it's just so hard to do.
I cheated with, I think it was a Ghost Arc rather than Doomsday Arc, but I cheated because I built the same thing. I built it because I wanted to get it on the table, play with it, and then realised it was going to be an absolute nightmare to paint. So I paid someone else to do it. Can you use it?
I don't do this? I don't blame it. Well, when we were in Element Games, I was like, I do need another one. I might pick up another one to feel too. And I just remembered, I was like, no, I hated doing it.
Yeah.
I actually lost, again, very similar to the flayed ones. I just do my bases. I just lost interest in doing Necrons because of just how fiddly and
I think there's, in the case of, I don't think we're alone, maybe it's our personalities, but I don't think so. I think a lot of Warhammer fans tend to have to learn the hard way. So everyone says, thin your paints, and nobody thins the paints when they start painting. Everyone says,
one medium.
Yeah. Or one thick it might get slapping on. It's like plaster.
Get it on.
Sticking on with a trowel. But also building sub-assemblies, and the first time you think, I don't need to build a sub-assembly. And then you're like, I need to build a sub-assembly. So once you've had that bad experience once,
once you've been scarred.
You don't do it again.
Nah.
So remember to build in sub-assemblies, people.
Always do it.
Good. And speaking of assemblies, what was the hardest to build then?
Again, I think it had to be one of the
Ghost Arc is an absolute pain in the arse.
Just again, I'm going to pick it up again, but
he's taking an overload with him.
An overload. So this guy again, because not on top of the Doomsday Arc, there's a squad of 10 warriors on the inside. So you can see just inside there. So putting them inside alongside doing all these little side bits.
Yeah. Just fiddly as hell.
It's
a very long job because the lore-wise, even on the table, it rebuilds warriors, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, even the lore behind the Ghost Arc's dark, but again, grim dark, but it's so good. So they just carried the dead, basically.
They used them. They rounded up people, Necrons here, who didn't want to go through biotransference and shoved them on the Ghost Arcs and took them to the furnaces.
I thought it was for the death. I thought they were carrying the dead. Well, I guess they were all going to be dead anyways.
Yeah,
I guess the death barges.
The other one I think we touched on was these guys, but they are, as we said, they're just because they're so delicate and fine.
And absolutely.
GW... this period when GW created these minis, it was going through what I call its fiddly phase. So the model, there's Tomb Blades are the other one for me. Which are over there. They're
in the unpainted section for a reason.
Yeah, but they are. There seems to be far more segments to the mini than there needs to be.
Yes,
like you're looking at the sprue, going, well, you could have just put that together.
Yeah, exactly.
So those ones for me, I think, are definitely up there for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
And what about revisiting? You touched before that you revisited a couple of models like the Stalker, etc.
Yeah, so honestly, I want to revisit most of them. So the newer models I get, I typically do the little dry brush on the shoulders, like I've done it for these Immortals here. But and I want to go back and basically do the nice blue dry brushing
just to give them a bit of more pop.
Exactly. It makes such a difference. Like you look at those Immortals just there, but then you look at the Warriors next door. Just the difference in the dry brushing makes makes them more eye catching.
Yeah, it really does. Really does. It makes a massive difference.
Yeah, the basing side of things. Although the basing, I quite like the bases I've got. I wish I went with something else because I know how annoying they are.
You're trapped now as well. You've got to carry on.
That's it. Exactly. I can't change them now. There's a few ones I need to get bases for. So I need to get my friend to get those 3D printers.
So you've got Xeras, and if you wanted to, Xeras doesn't have to go on one. The Scorpio World down there, a couple of Royal Wardens.
That's the one. Yeah, I've done a few little different bases for those ones. So I could do something. I mean, I could just paint them silver and then just do like some little detail there for Necrons. And
that Royal Warden's got a little bit of customization. He's got one of those swirly things off the night side, hasn't he?
Is there? Yeah. So the reason why I put him on that on there was for back in Index Hammer. I use that as the Veil of Darkness.
Oh, the Veil of Darkness. Brilliant.
Yeah, so I give him the Veil of Darkness quite often.
Nice.
So I was like, well, I may as well put like a little swirly portal to help the person be like, look, this guy has got the Veil of Darkness.
It's a visual aid that reminds you and your opponent. I love stuff like that because we had a conversation in the car this morning about gotcha moments. Anything that helps avoid those is great.
It's just so nice. Like a visual presentation for it,
But I love those little touches.
Yeah. No, it's so good.
Good.
So good. And then realistically, I think that is kind of all the detail parts, but maybe just a rundown of what we've got.
Well, before we do that, do you want to tell us why you're missing a flayed one? So
of course.
We've got 39 flayed ones.
I've got 39 flayed ones.
You did have 40.
I did have 40. That's it's very nice. So, yes. So, basically, I've got my little dog here, by the way. So I cannot say no to Jess. But, yeah, so 39 flayed ones. I was playing a game of, I think I had like 30 of them on the table at the time. And I've got a friend who was just, moving his models, yada, yada. And I looked up and I seen him and he was just moving his models. And he steps back and I heard like a crunch. I looked up. He looks at me. He looks down. Looks at me. He looks down. And then he just gets his foot and just starts like pushing them under the table. And I was like, you okay? Was that a crisp? So it sounded like that. And he goes, and I look on the table and he's like, I was like, do a little head count. I was like, 9 flayed ones? Where's the other one?
Oh, no.
Started connecting the dots. And I was like, you've done it, haven't you? And obviously flayed ones being so brittle, I can completely understand that. It's like breeze
just
would break
disintegrated
it just disintegrated. So my 40th flayed one is currently on the base of Gazgul right now. So
you make our mate Danny kept it and put it on Gazgul's base as a trophy.
It was too bad to remake. So I was like, you know what, mate, just keep it. Just please base it with Gazgul. So yeah, he's looking pretty handsome on Gazgul right now. Very nicely painted. So
so if anybody has one spare flayed one out there,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll pay good money.
Yeah.
No, but he did print me off a Steve flayed one.
Oh, class, yes.
Yeah, the
he did one
Steve.
for me as well, bless him.
Yeah. So he did get that, and he did buy me a big flayed one because I did say I was joking on, but he goes, "Oh, I'll buy you a new one. I'll buy you a new one." So he's bought me the big action figure.
Oh, lovely, like the Joy Toy type.
Yeah,
thing,
that's
nice,
the one.
Nice.
Can't field it, obviously, but I've got a big one of them to say sorry. So
that's very kind of him.
That's all them ones.
Yes.
But,
good. Yeah. But yes, let's have a run through. Where do you want to start?
Oh, well, battle line, right? So you can kind of see here I have 81 Necron warriors. The first one is leading the way up front there, pointing away. 80 warriors. Is that 80 too many?
No, I mean,
need more?
You can field 120, can't you? 6 battle line. So
why not? So I need a few more Necron warriors.
We don't see them on the table as much these days. Certainly not in our list, but I know other people still love them.
It's very true. After that, we've got they've got 20. 20 immortals here. 15 of them have the Tesla, and then the 5 have the Gauss.
Yes, very nice.
So I'm happy with those ones.
Yeah.
We'll just go around the table first. We'll go back at the top.
Fair enough.
So going forward, we've got the 39
flayed ones.
I'm so used to saying 40 flayed ones. Yeah, absolutely lovely models. But for following in front of them, we've got the Scarabs. I think we've got 27 Scarabs there.
So that was in 9th. You could run 3 units of 9 was the maximum, which we like
27.
to do. Yeah, 27. So I think I've got around that number as well.
Yeah.
I might have a couple more extra.
It was such a chew on for them to get through how many wounds we had. They got 4 wounds each.
I mean,
just so fun.
Having OC0 has made them a bit less playable in 10th edition.
Can't do actions. It's just
I watched an interesting battle report from a guy called Heretic Dave, who runs Necrons quite a lot on his channel, and he ran them with a Catacomb Command Barge, which gives an aura of OC out, I think, doesn't it?
Okay. Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah. I think they does Sarrakin. No, I'm not too sure if Sarrakin does anything.
But yeah, that was interesting. But also, sorry, I'm just diverting us there. But
not at all.
What you can see here, you'll be able to see on the close-ups, is we've kind of got Scarabs through the ages as well. So you've got some of the old school models and then the newer schools.
I didn't want to get rid of them. I know I had to upgrade the bases as well, so they've obviously been upgraded. But I just didn't want to get rid of them. They were just the classics in my eyes.
I like them chunky fellas with little stubby legs.
They're
dead cute.
Bit of personality. Bit of personality. So so lots of lots of things. We've got the main head honcho Necron warrior leading the way as well.
Yeah.
Now, following back on myself, we've got the Lich Guard here.
Yeah, so you've got a bit of each, a bit of both.
Yeah, so I've got the newer paint scheme, my older paint scheme, which I need to upgrade on. But I've got 20 boards and swords and 20 war scythe ones.
Sweet.
Like the idea of that. Behind those guys, we've obviously got the older model of the Stormlord alongside the newer one.
Nice.
Which is, again, quite iconic. And again, you can see my old paint scheme compared to my new one.
Yes.
So I'm very happy with how that's came out.
The new Stormlord model is totally lush. They've done a great job on that.
So good. Yeah. So good. And then just to the left of those guys, we've got Orican then. Again, followed by his new one and his old one.
Yes.
Looking really handsome on that one. Again, really good models. Really look very like how they look. And then obviously next to them, we've got the Trazan.
Yes, he looks tiny now compared to Orican.
He's tiny, but he's always got a place in my heart.
Yes,
he's one of my favorite models there. Behind them, we've got some Hexmark destroyers.
Yeah, I recognise one of those.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah,
I think that's claimed as mine now.
Yeah, you borrowed it. You borrowed it for a battle there the other day, didn't you?
And it's still here.
Yeah. I need to remember to take that home with us. I'll never see it again.
Yeah. It's part of the silver tide now,
Dan.
And then just left them, we've got 3 Royal Ones.
Yes.
Slightly customized just to make them slightly different.
Yeah, I like that. They've all got slightly different paint schemes. Yeah. And then you've got your Veil guy as well.
So Veil guy as well.
Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got the Skobek Lord just to the right of those guys. Again, looking pretty menacing. Again, another really fun model to paint because, again, just it was a bigger version of a Skobek, which was nice and easy to paint. So I was really happy with that one.
Yeah, good fun.
And to the right of them, we've got the what's it called?
Illuminor Zeras.
Illuminor Zeras. Yes. The one. Again, cool looking model. Spent a little bit of time on the flesh and kind of the blood, and I wasn't too sure how to get it off, but it came out quite nice. And I'm happy with how it looks.
That is also a super fiddly model to build, but it's one of my favourite sculpts.
Oh yeah,
it's worth the pain.
Oh yeah. And then to the right of them, we've got the Overlords. One of them is called the Drip Lord.
Oh yeah,
which I'm very happy with. He's again kind of representing Supreme. I don't know why I was like, I'll just go for like a very funny little guy. So he's got a gold chin. He's looking handsome.
Yeah, it does kind of suit him actually. You got one of the new translocation ones there as well.
Translocation ones as well, yes. So we've got a couple of lords. And then behind them we've got the 2 Ghost Orcs.
Nice.
Yep, never used them. No. But they're still
they weren't great in 9th and they're not great in 10th, but there's kind of part of the issue is they kind of only synergize with warriors, and warriors aren't very good either, are they? So,
exactly. Yeah.
They're in the forgotten corner of Necrons.
For now, they are. Hopefully they'll come back out in the future. Obviously we've got the little section of Catan. So we've got the Void Dragon, the Deceiver, and the Night Bringer.
Yeah.
So class looking models again. We've talked about before, but yeah, love those guys.
Good.
That's everything on this table. Going up to across the board here. So start with Silent King. Silent King looking absolutely immense. So yeah, very happy with how he looks.
Yeah, he's turned out well, that one.
Got the monoliths either side, looking pretty handsome. And love the old one compared to the new one. Going on my left hand side here, we've got the Doom, Canoptic Doomstalker.
The Doomstalker and the Doomsday Ark there, is it?
Yep. So 2 class looking models.
Yeah.
I've got a few little scarabs on the Doomsday one.
Nice.
Just to kind of show that because I had some spares from the Silent King. So I was like, I'll whack them on.
Yeah, I like that.
As if they're repairing
I
it.
love those little touches of personalization.
Yeah.
It's a good example of that you don't have to personalize everything.
Exactly.
It's actually better if you just do the odd thing because it's
exactly. And then on the other end, we've got the 3 spiders.
Yes.
The ones. So yeah, very happy with that.
Also not seeing a lot of tabletop action at the moment.
Well, because
great sculpts.
Because the scarabs fell out, so naturally they'll fall out as well.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Canoptic. Not the Canoptic.
Triarch Stalker.
Triarch Stalker. There we go. Got the name of that one.
Yeah.
We're happy with that model as well.
It's a good model.
It's good.
I'm hoping to get a second one of those on the table soon.
That better be there when we leave this, by the way. And then up top, we've got 2 squads of 6 Locust Destroyers alongside 3 in the back. Because again, I love my Locust Destroyers.
Oh, yeah.
They're being led by the Locust Lords behind them as well. So really happy with that.
Very nice.
In the middle section, we've got the Skobek Destroyers. Again, cool models. I never make them work, but they are very good.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, we've got the Heavy Destroyers.
Very popular. You've got mainly with the Gauss Destructor, the anti-tank, but you've got some of the Enmitic ones as well, the anti-infantry.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is, just in case. And then behind those guys, we've got the Reanimators, as we talked about before.
Yeah,
amazing models, looking awesome. Skobek, not the Skobek ones, the Ophidian Destroyers.
Yeah.
again, cool looking models. I want more of them because we've got the uppy downy.
Yeah.
Just so easy to
Up
do.
and down is very important in this edition for
certainly
scoring your secondaries.
Certainly is.
And then right in the corner there is a flying death croissant.
It certainly is there, yes. Just a video on that one.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a very old model. It's been sunbleached a little bit, so I really need to go over that one and redo it. But it's just, again, I don't see much play, so I don't have the
and I think
the drive to get it done.
Yeah, that's the thing is if it gets a 50 points reduction in
pretty
point,
handsome.
then all of a sudden you'll be driving the
Oh
hell
yeah,
out of that.
yeah, you'll see 3 more of those on the tabletop. Yep.
Good. And what else is do you want to do behind me?
I certainly can. So the things that are behind us, so we've got the Convergence of Dominion.
Yes.
I love those guys, although they don't have very much play. I'm going to try and make them work.
Watch out for a future video on that because he's got some absolutely filthy plans up his sleeves. I'm really excited about this.
I know. I'm really looking forward to it. They've now been deployed or printed, shall we say.
Right.
So I'm going to test that out first and see how those ones go.
Cool. You've got a little part now. I just want to touch on this very briefly, but because you can't see behind me, but you've got 3 wraiths there.
I do.
And
yes,
that is your entire wraith collection, isn't it?
It is,
which is almost unheard of.
I know, right? Yeah, I didn't want to dive in on the when they were super hot, when they were really good.
Yeah, so I mean, I love them in ninth. I would run 2 units of 6 in ninth.
Yeah.
Really like them. I've got 18 of them. I run which is the maximum
18.
you can take
Nice.
in 10th, but you've just never really, it's never been a unit for you, has it?
No, I don't know what it is. I think it's the bases, like the skinny and the fat heads.
Yeah.
I just feel like you drop one drop away and they're just going to explode.
Yeah.
And they have exploded several times.
There's one of the sculpts in particular that if you don't put it exactly in the right place on the base, it will tip over unless you put a penny on the bottom.
Yeah.
I've put pennies on all, like 2 pence pieces on all of
You
mine.
need to. Yeah, definitely need to. I haven't bothered doing them yet because I just don't want to.
But it's as a you own some as a collector, so it's like one you can tick off.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that certain each individual Necron player will have different units that they like and dislike because it's varying on your play style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
on the tabletop, they are really good, and I should have more, but I just
Race and
not for me.
Scorpex were my staples in ninth, whereas you were like, no, I don't really.
It was weird, which is the opposite. I was like, flayed ones.
Cool.
We'll come back to the pile of shame side. So we'll flip back on my side. I've got some death marks down there, golden guns, making them look pretty.
Nice.
Need to redo them a little slightly, but they're always
they're not a bad unit in this edition because of the deep strike. They're good for point scoring.
Oh, easy. And we've got the free. That's probably worth mentioning. Free 3D printed versions of the Transcendent Catans.
Yes.
I want to mention that specifically because if you look at the models, you can't actually tell too much.
It's very difficult to tell them. It's a good proxy, and the reason is because the only way you can buy a Transcendent Catan is with the Obelisk model, which is like over £100, isn't it?
It's £115.
Yeah,
so
from GW.
I'm not buying 3 of them to then get 3 of those models.
No, it's absolutely outrageous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
So, I would say 90% of maybe more of the Necron community that has Transcendent Catans are
3D printed
proxies or 3D prints.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then just to the left of them, I'm going to have to shimmy myself around.
Yes. Stay in microphone range.
Certainly am. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. So we've got also the starting off with the bottom ones. We've got the Annihilation Barge.
Ah, yes.
Rarely use them. I have one, and I just don't like them because he's just not very good in points.
Got a point cut. Might be worth running, particularly in a horde meta. We'll see. I've got. I think I've got 1 or 2 built, but not painted at the moment.
Yeah, I can easily see why. But and then above that, and so that's them ones down there. We've got the ones above her, and we've got some older ones and some newer ones mixed in. So some of the ones that are now out of went to Legends actually.
Yes,
I've actually forgotten their names. They're it's the bodyguard of.
It's Vargard Oberon is the bodyguard. And what's the other dude called?
The other dude was great though because like in the lore he was like he thought everyone was still he thought all the Necrons were still alive.
Yes.
And it was the first time me painting white, so I'm happy with how it's turned out, but it definitely needs to be improved on.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like the very early models, and also white is probably one of the hardest colours to kind of get right, isn't it? It always just never. I can never get it right. What else have you got in there? You've got a few more characters there.
Yeah, so quickly run by them. So the one to the left of that is one of the major kill mini ranges.
Oh yeah.
So I really liked how that looked. So I was like, yeah, I'll pick one of those up because it will look really nice. Into the left of that, we've got the Plasmancer, followed by the Chronomancer, alongside the Technomancer and the Psychomancer. So they're the cryptex.
Yeah, you've got
Necrons.
Same. I think I've got 3 of each apart from the Plasmancer. I've got 3 beautifully painted Psychomancers that never see the table either. He's like the forgotten cryptech, isn't he?
Absolutely.
They did the Technomancer, Chronomancer, Plasmancer are all really useful in this edition. But the Psychomancer, they'd run out of ideas by the time. But yes, you've got a pretty awesome collection there.
Thank you. And then I think the last is the Cryptal Thralls.
Yeah, you've got the little murder buckets again. Since their nerf, they were great at the start of the edition. Since the nerf, they're not coming out anymore.
No, there's just again too high in points.
Also got a bunch of plasma sites, which used to be a separate model within the scope the destroyer units, but now that you use them as just like a token,
as an icon kind of thing. Yeah. Good.
But that's a phenomenal collection. Thank you for running us through it.
Thank you. And then I think lastly is literally just my pile of shame, which I'll be happy. I haven't got, it's not a massive pile of shame.
I mean, it's built.
It's built in it's not all of them are built. I've got the couple of collection ones, the Warhammer commemorative.
Oh yeah.
I've got 2 of them. They're not going to get built.
No,
they're in the
box.
box. And I've only just purchased the other 3 boxes, the Obelisk, the Praetorians, 2 boxes.
Yeah,
of
try
those.
Praetorians.
So I want to try the new Obeisance Phalanx one a bit more. And then obviously the Doom, not the Doom ones, the Tomb
Spiders?
No, the flying ones.
The Tomb Blades.
Tomb Blades. I can't think of names.
Yeah, Tomb Blades.
There's so many names going on. I kind of want to pin them.
They're super. Again, I farmed them out and asked some people very kindly if they would paint them for me because I just couldn't face it.
There's just too many fiddly parts. It's like they're the mentioned in another podcast kind of thing. But we mentioned that before, where those guys are. I think they have too much detail.
Yeah,
for what they need.
They're just again, like I said, they seemed to just. I think GW was going through a
fiddly stage,
a fiddly phase, in terms of model sculpts. yeah, certainly for Necrons.
Very nice, but that is my collection. My 11,000 points away from Necrons. Hope you liked it. It was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed looking through that. I think like most of you probably. We all like geeking out over massive armies of 40k stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's inspired me to go and first of all paint some more of my stuff, but also work out what I've got in points because I would definitely won't be at 11,000, but I'd be interested to see if I'm more than 10. I don't think so. But also let us know in the comments. Is anybody out there that beats Jack? How many points you've got of Necrons or anything else for that matter? And also, I mean, realistically, I'm thinking by the time you've almost got the maximum that you can run on most units here. Yeah, I reckon 12,000 was probably about the limit. There's maybe a bit more than that.
It depends on the points, but I think there's another Obelisk, Tesseract Vault. I could put in another one.
You could probably get to 13 or 14,000.
Yeah, probably 14, 15. 14, 15, I would say.
But that's quite interesting. But let us know again what your thoughts are, and thank you for watching this, and we'll be back with another video soon.
Thank you.